Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. The honorable examiner of this midterm exam is Mr. Examination is Miss Siti Fajriah. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. In this special occasion. We are from Group 8. Let me introduce ourselves. My name is Rena Siti Fajriah as moderator and as a speaker, and my partner is.
My name is Dini Safitri as a speaker.
We would like to thank to the examiners who have given we are an opportunity. The present our presentation of research project with the title the representation of background thesis transitivity analysis. Our presentation consists. Please. First is background of the study, second aims of the study, third related literature review, and the last is research methodology. For background, we are going to start from background. Background work as the window of the thesis Clare and Hamilton 2003. The word window here refers to a brief description of the next chapter in thesis. Background is required as a first step for author to guide the reader to giving clear idea of what to write, because background is introductory chapter takes a role as a main description of the thesis mid 2002. In point 2, Swallows and Frick 1994, while writing the background is actually slow and difficult and confusing process. This obstacle occur because we will not know what to write in background until thesis we finish. Published and Stairfield 2007 and Evans and Gruba 2002. Hence, writing a background thesis remains a problem, because from there the reader will decide whether or not to continue reading.
Okay, based on the issues, transitivity analysis is a tool used to check the ideas represented in writing, with the elements such as participant, process, and circumstances of time and place that could be identified using the transitivity theories from the according to again 2004. So one way to understand how the press is used to an entity in the word is the use of the transitivity analysis. So in this regard, several transitivity got it made in this previous study. Much research has analyzed the transitivity of students' writing focused on students' text types, such as descriptive. For example, the journal Rahmat Nurhaini Anggraini 2018, and then Apandi and Mulyani 2021, the findings show that the most dominant transitivity process in the students' descriptive text was the material process and the relational process. And the second one is the students' recount text from the journal Rasmayanti 2021. The findings show that the most aspect of the transitivity process was the material process. And then the last is the students' narrative text. According to the journal Fajriah and Cahyani ES 2019, the findings show that the most dominant of transitivity process in the student's narrative text was the material process. So, from the previous studies, focus on analyzing student text types such as the descriptive text, narrative text, and recount text. So, therefore, it's still necessary to conduct a transitivity analysis of student text in different focus. So, we choose the thesis background as a topic with the language features more complex. So, in this study aims to analyze the transitivity process in the thesis background of students' English education program.
For the next material is chapter 2, literature review, consists background thesis and transitivity system. In background thesis, consists two is function of background thesis and elements or move background thesis. Function of background thesis, as mentioned before in chapter 1, background works as the window of the thesis Clare and Hamilton 2003. Besides that, background also must base on literature review for help reader understand context research. The function and the purpose of the inclusion of the literature review is to support the researcher argument that our thesis and must be stated in a way that so that the author's voice is clear or dominance. Clare 2003, Said Emilia, and Hungary 41. For elements or moves of background thesis, according Peltridge and Sterfile 2007, have three moves. The first move is determine a research territory or explain the research study territory. Usually, this part about topic background topic of the research or previous study clarification, and then the move to determine a niche, determine the place or position of the reach. Usually this part uh, uh, about a gap we must have a question, or we must ask about this research, still have a gap to we are research again or not. And for the last move 3 is occupy a place and a research position. Usually is aims of the research or organization of the paper.
Okay, the second one is transitivity system. Transitivity system have three major functional roles. This is participant, process, and circumstances, according to Camerlin 2016. So the process is the central to the clauses. For the participant have a function based on the process is running or what happened to the participant, and circumstances of augmentation factors such as place, time, and then causes. So according to SFG, total 6 types to transitive process, that is material process, mental process, relational process, verbal process, behavior process, and essential process. For the first one is the material process. According to Holiday, MAK, and Medicine 2014, said the material process is a work process that indicates an action or process of an action, or even the process of happening. So in this the material process have there are to have a participant. This is who do something is are called actor, and then who are addressed by process, who are called the goal. And the second one is mental process. Mental process are verbs that indicate perception, cognition, and affection and desire, from the Saragi 2010. According to mental process, using verbs such as like think, feel, see, enjoy, fear, and then much more. So the next is relational process. The relational process is divided into parts. The first one is identifying process, and the second one in the attribute process, according to Holiday 1994. For the identifying process, have two participants are called the token and value, but for the attributive process, they are called the this is what is that, carrier, and then attribute. So this involves verbs such as visible, become, have, and then much more.
For the next material is behavioral process, is process sociological and psychological behavior. Holiday 1994. There is like talking, walking, smiling, looking, watching, and etc. Behavioral process have one obligatory participant called behavior. For the example, we can see sentence, my father talking about social politics. My father is behavior, and talking about social politics is process behavioral. For the next example, can everyone can read yourself, because we are not have enough time. For the next is verbal process, are processing, Garrett and Wignall 1994. The participant rule of verbal process, according to AG 1994, Saint Emilia 2014, include sayers, receiver, verbiage, and target. For example, my sister will introduce her boyfriend to our family. My sister is sayer, will introduce process verbal. Her boyfriend is verbiage, and to our family is receiver. And then Diandra praise Bima to all subscriber. Diandra is sayer, praise process verbal, Bima target, and to all subscriber is receiver. And for the last process is process in is existential process is processes of existence. Garrett and Wignall 1999. For example, there are two people. R is process existential and two people is existential.
Okay, for the other participant, the first one is beneficiary. The beneficiary is the one to whom or for whom the process is said to take place. In the material process, there are two kinds beneficiary. Them are recipient and then client. And then this involve verbs such as to give, send, over, buy, and take.
For other participant is range. In verbal process, the range is element expressing the class, quality, or quantity of what is said. Holiday 1985. It is called verbiage, refers to range in this process. We can see verbal process clause. He asks a question. A question is a range or is called verbiage. And then the circumstance classify them into 7 types. They are extent, location, manner, cause, accompaniment, matter, and rules. According Agents 2004, for types extern, expressed to distance or duration, or for example, something like how far, how long, or how many. For location is place, expressed to place and time. Example, where, when. For manner is means, quality, or comparison. For example, how, what, with, or what like. And then types cause, for express for reason, purpose, or behalf. For example, interrogative question, something like what for, why, how, who for. And then accompaniment, example, who, or what else. And then the rule, example, what is or what into, express to contours meaning of be and become. For the matter, express to that which is described, referred to river. For example, what about.
The next topic is previous related research report. For the first one is the analysis of process transitivity in student descriptive text. The findings show that the most dominant of transitivity process in student descriptive text was the material process and relational process. The second one, analyzing the type of the process, participant, and the circumstances of student recontext, especially at the high school level. According to Fajriah YN 2021 and the Rosmayanti YN 2021, the findings show that the most dominant from transitive process in the students' recontext was the material process, and the circumstances for our location, manner, and then causes. And the next one is the analysis of process transitivity in students' narrative text from Fajriah YN and Cahyani AS 2019. The findings show that the most dominant of the transitivity process in student narrative text was the material process. So, hence, this study attempts a transitivity analysis students' text with a different focus. The similar between the previous studies and these studies is the transitivity analysis, and the difference between previous studies and this study is use data is that identified from the previous studies is use the analyzing types such as the descriptive text, context, and narrative text. But for the in this study, we choose the thesis background to as a topic of a transitivity analysis. And the next one is research methodology. Okay, this study, use the research design, qualitative research in form of case study. For the second one, research chat. In this study, use the Institut Pendidikan Indonesia because have major English education program. For the participant, this is use the 6 thesis background of students' English education program with different GPA. And then for instruments, we use the document analysis, and for data analysis, we use the inductive analysis. The first one is analysis the document and interpreting. That's all from me. Back to the moderator.
Thank you to Dini to present our material. And the next is that's all our presentation for our group. If everyone have a question,
You may to give our question. Thank you.
so that's all from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.